This is the IOD 202 pretest corrective loop video. We're focusing on question number 1 for this specific corrective loop video. IOD 202 is identifying basic features of a table, graph, or diagram. For example, headings, units of measurement, or axes. Okay? So that's what we're looking for, identifying basic features of a table, graph, or diagram. Alright, first thing we always do is scan. So we got, here's the passage title, passage 1. Here's some text. There's a table and a graph. And our questions. Okay, so there's not much here. That's nice. Okay, question number 1. Well, let me go back. Instructions. Circle the correct response. Create an evidence-based Toolman explanation for each of the responses describing why it is correct or distractor. So the purpose here is for each one of these, for this question, each response, we got to identify if it's a correct response or whether it's a distractor. And a distractor is a response that is purposefully put here to get you to think that it might be a correct response, but it actually is an incorrect response. So all of these are either correct or a distractor. Okay, we got to identify which is the correct one, which ones are the distractors, and then we have to write a Toolman-based explanation. What does that mean? Well, that means we got to write, why this is correct or why this is a distractor. So that's what's got to go in these boxes. Okay, so first question: in what units is the y-axis of graph 1? In what units is the y-axis of graph 1? Okay, in what units? That's important, right? We need to know what units this thing is. That's what we're looking for, units. So, in fact, just knowing that, I can already get some things going here, but I'm going to wait. In what units is the y-axis of graph 1? So we're looking for the y-axis of graph 1. Okay? So pretty much all of this is important, unfortunately, but it's a really short question, so that's all. So we're going to look at graph 1. That's what it tells us to go. And we're going to look for the y-axis, and we're looking for the units on that y-axis. Okay, so graph 1. Here's graph 1. And we're looking at the y-axis. Well, the y-axis is the one that's vertical. X-axis is horizontal. Y-axis is vertical. And we're looking for units. Okay, so we've got concentration, and in parentheses, G solute / 100 G water. Well, this is read grams solute. G is an abbreviation for grams, which is a unit of mass. So grams solute. And this slash in this kind of situation usually represents the word per. So grams solute per 100 grams water. Okay, that's what this says. Now, is concentration the unit or is this part the unit? Well, this part in the parentheses is generally the unit. So grams solute per 100 grams of water. That's what we're seeing displayed on this axis. How many grams of solute per 100 grams of water? So that's the answer. So we're going to go back down here and find grams solute per 100 grams water. It's right here. So this is the correct answer. Okay. And that means the rest of these are distractors. Okay, now, why is this correct? Well, on the y-axis of graph 1, we see grams solute per 100 grams water in parentheses. Okay, that's what these little marks are, right? Parentheses. Seeing something in parentheses on an axis usually tells us that it is the unit. Okay? Now, degrees C. Why is that a possible distractor? Well, if we go up to the graph, we see degrees C here. Oh, okay, so here's degree C. Notice it's also in parentheses, so it's also a unit. But what's wrong with the situation here? Why is this incorrect? Well, it's on the x-axis. So if I don't know where the y-axis is, I might guess this one, even if I know I'm looking for something in parentheses. That's why this is a distractor. Okay, so degrees C is on the graph, is on, let's just say graph 1, let's be specific. But it is the unit for the x-axis. Someone who did not know which axis was which would possibly choose this answer. That's why it's a distractor. Okay. Degrees Fahrenheit. Do we see that anywhere? No. Okay. But degrees Fahrenheit is a unit. Degrees Fahrenheit is a unit, but it does not appear on the graph. Or let's say graph 1. Someone might choose this response if they knew that the degrees Fahrenheit was a unit. Okay. And just so we're clear, unit is something that you measure something else in. So like I can measure temperature in degrees Celsius. I can measure temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. I can measure concentration in grams of solute per 100 grams of water. Okay. Now, this last one, temperature, that's not even a unit. Okay. Temperature, you can't measure in temperature. You can measure temperature in some other unit, but you can't measure temperature. Now, temperature, although our temperature is on the graph, okay? So, it's a distractor. Temperature is on graph 1. It is on the x-axis. If someone was confused about what a unit was, they might choose this response because it is on graph 1. Not only do they have to be confused about what a unit is and which axis, they have to be also confused about which axis is which. Alright, and that is the end of this video. So hopefully that gives you some information about why this was a correct response, why these were distractors, and how you might do this kind of a problem in the future. Please try number 2 on your own, and then check back with the video to see if you did it correctly.